Huge news coming out of the F1 world as we head into the Monaco Grand Prix. Andretti have started negotiations with Gene Haas for his Formula 1 team. Yes, the American team owner, very, very frustrated with the lack of performance shown by his team inside the first 4 Grand Prix, had threatened to leave the sport at the end of the year. So Andretti are looking to try and save hundreds of jobs and also finally achieve their dream of owning a Formula 1 team. Logan Sargent and Nico Hülkenberg, it is unaware as to whether either of those drivers will be kept on towards the end of the season, both of them with struggling performance early on in the campaign. But yeah, Formula 1 back in Monaco this weekend. It's the one they all want to win, so let's head down then ready for the Grand Prix. Quickly though, before we get into this video, I want to thank all of the names you see on your screen. Without their continued support of the channel, none of the work we do here would be possible. And if you want to get your name featured on this list, you can click the join button or click the Patreon link down in my description below and support the channel from just £1 a month. You will also get access to weekly updates about everything going on behind the scenes and also occasionally some early previews on videos. So yeah, a massive thank you to my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters, and let's get back to the video. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where yes, we return today here for the jewel in the Formula 1 crown. We're back for the Monaco Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live from Imola last week, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But today we are back on what is probably my strongest track in the world of Formula 1. But of course, yeah, we've heard the news. It looks like Andretti will be pushing forward in a bid to buy out the Haas team before the end of the season. And yeah, Hülkenberg and Sargent, they're both going to need some big results, obviously, before that move goes ahead in the very near future. But yeah, of course, if you're new around here, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel as well. Of course, we're trying to hit 125,000 subscribers at the moment, and we're also trying to make sure that we return to the points this weekend. Verstappen still leads the way. 19 points now clear of George Russell, but Oscar Piastri definitely is building up some momentum as well, just behind his teammate there. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo as well is another one under a lot of pressure this weekend, still last in the Drivers' Championship with the best result of P17. So, of course, the Australian, he loves this venue. Hopefully that will mean he can kick on strong this weekend as well. But yeah, let's immediately get in then here with qualifying. Well, I'll be honest then, we might have hyped ourselves up coming into this weekend, but so far in free practice, really have struggled to find a balance that I'm comfortable with in the car. So, yeah, not sure we'll see the heroics today, but if we do, I will be very, very surprised there. Obviously, still hoping that we can, qualify a little bit higher than we have in recent Grand Prix. All of those upgrades now on the car and working well. It is just always trying to fine-tune and tweak the setup as best as possible to obviously adapt to the interesting characteristics of the Monaco Grand Prix circuit there. So we make our way through the first few corners though. I tell you what, McLaren, they look racy this weekend. Lando and Norris fastest in free practice. Bottas now has immediately jumped to the top of the timing screens as well. Trying to keep out of the walls as we make our way in towards La Rascasse though. So far, it's felt like a pretty tidy lap for the most part, nudging the barriers here and there. But up towards the start-finish line then, it is going to be a 1:10.5, and okay. Apparently, we have still got the pace at the Monaco Grand Prix circuit. I was not expecting that. Well, less than a minute left on the clock, then everyone else is going to be out for their last-ditch attempt. And we are going to be joining them. We've still got a couple of tenths of a second in the back pocket from that McLaren behind us, but a lot of drivers from a lot of teams all look to be within contention here. Again, a little bit of a mistake through turn 1, but will we see anyone else improve? Will the pressure be put back on our shoulders here? Can we just try and nail a lap around?
Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
No, we won't. And, well, everyone else should be able to still finish their lap, but we are out of it then. Here in qualifying at the Monaco Grand Prix, you just did it ever so slightly too early in through Casino Square there, and you can just see if we slow it down, Well, a pretty easy mistake to make there, but just about half a tyre's width too early. And immediately, that is going to be us out of qualifying here in Monaco. However, are we still on pole position? Well, there we go then. Aston Martin and Yuki Tsunoda spring a surprise right at the end of qualifying there, and it will be the Japanese driver that joins me on the front row of the grid. Lando, Norris, Valtteri, Bottas lock out row 2 ahead of Russell and Oscar Piastri there. But for the second time then in 4 years, a driver has taken pole position in the first run and then binned it in the second one and still hung on then to pole position. Daniel Ricciardo, P17, 1.2 seconds behind us, but yeah, maybe Yuki Tsunoda is about to mount a challenge here. Let's see what we can do then. Let's head into race day Sunday.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Firestarter lines up on pole position, and Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Magnussen, Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton, Gasly, Ocon, Norris, Albon, Liam Lawson, Perez, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Joe, Sargent, Teo Pourchaire, and Ayumu Iwasa. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Well, here we are then at trackside for the Monaco Grand Prix. As always, 39 grueling laps ahead of us. And strategy today is going to be absolutely everything. Now, sometimes it's worked for me, sometimes it hasn't. But I've got to start this race on the soft compound tyre. We just cannot afford to risk getting jumped by Yuki Tsunoda at the start of the race. And even if we get a safety car a bit later on, we can still certainly open up the strategy. Of course, with the new upgrades, the car is definitely thirsty. So we're going to leave a lot of spare fuel as well inside the wagon here. But yeah, lining up pole position. Yuki Tsunoda has joined him on the soft compound tyres. It's 5 red lights. It's going to be lights out, and away we go then, and a very clean, tidy start. Absolutely what we needed, as it goes Bottas to the inside of the Aston Martin down at turn 1. And Tsunoda, though, will hang it around the outside there through the first couple of corners. Russell and Piastri left to duke out side by side just behind them. But absolutely the dream start for us here as we try and make sure we settle into the Grand Prix as early as possible here. We know this place is notorious for safety cars and incidents. But generally, inside the F1 game, the AI can actually be pretty good around this venue there. But as we make our way through lap 1, the other thing we've got to make sure we do today is not overwork the tyres either. So really, really have to be gentle with them at the start of a Grand Prix. Ease them in, coax them up to temperature, and try obviously not to work them too hard, because you can find yourself graining and really scrubbing the fronts if you're not too careful there. But already with a 1.3 second lead, over Yuki as we make our way towards the end of lap 1. Such a short lap round here, but there is still so much going on. As, yeah, it looks like Tsunoda is going to try and stay in hot pursuit, but Bottas, Russell and Piastri probably are going to struggle a little bit more early on here on their harder compounded tyres. Tsunoda and I have just got to try and create a little bit of a gap before our tyres fall off, which will happen very, very early in the day. Well, with DRS then enabled, we have luckily built up a little bit of a buffer from Yuki Tsunoda behind us. Of course, he had a bit of a heartbreaking end to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix last time. Obviously, looked to be scoring some good points for Aston Martin, and then had a mechanical failure with just 2 laps to go. But yeah, the gap already up over 2 seconds to the young Japanese driver. I don't believe he scored a podium yet in this series, and well, what a place to do it if it is Monaco this weekend. I've just made my first little error of the day. Of course, got to remember, just like we saw in Jeddah, you cannot afford to rub up against the walls around here. Tyre wear then already on that front left up to 25% in just 4 laps. So we're going to have to manage that. And of course, not only is that, you know, tyre wear not ideal for race strategy, but also really upsets the balance of the car across the front end there. Already you can see struggling with some understeer through some of the corners. We're only on lap 6. Tsunoda, though, hasn't even been able to break free from Bottas and Russell, so we might be able to try and utilise the Aston Martin to our advantage here. If he can hold up a few of the cars a bit further back, maybe we can go aggressive on strategy as we nick that wall again. Didn't even think I'd hit it there, but yeah, you can see the tyre wear now up over 33%. Well, approaching 1/4 distance then, we're trying to maintain a good pace here early on in the GP. Don't really want to slow down too much around Monaco. I know I've spoke about it countless times before, but you really want to try and maintain a good flow state around this circuit where you're kind of locked in and driving at kind of 95-98%. Anything less than that, and you seem to find yourself relaxing too much, and that's where the mistakes really creep in. But yeah, gap to Yuki floating now, holding pretty stable at about 5 seconds. Nudge the wall there, and that'll probably have done a bit more wear to the front. Yeah, 42% and a little bit of front wing damage. We're going to have to come in for an early pit stop here. But where is that going to leave us in the bigger picture? Oh, we got yellows. We got yellows. This would be a fantastic time for a safety car. Oscar Piastri looks to be falling to the wayside. So last weekend, one of the stars of the show, Oscar Piastri, is out of the Monaco Grand Prix. However, doesn't look like we're going to get a safety car for it, which is a huge, huge shame for us. Well, riding on board then with Oscar Piastri as he makes his way down in towards Sector 2, and a huge plume of smoke there. Charles Leclerc lucky not to run into the back of him because he just could not see where he was going. And Oscar Piastri, our first casualty of the afternoon, he is out of the Monaco Grand Prix. There we go. There is that stricken Mercedes. You can see down the end of that escape road. Not sure if there's any karma in that based on where he's gone off. Looks at Nico Rosberg. But yeah, we're going to have to pit very, very soon here. I'm tempted to dive in at the end of this lap. Game doesn't reckon we'd re-emerge at the rear of the fields, but we would still absolutely have to try and make some overtakes on the road. Yep, into the pits we'll go. At the end of lap 11, it is a very, very early call to make, but one that I feel is necessary here. Don't get done for speeding very, very close on pit lane entry, but all I can hope now is that Tsunoda hangs out there and maybe slows down a few of the other cars. It is also so cool being able to see some of the other cars below you as they make their way around the final couple of corners. Need to put a new wing on as well, just because that bit of damage was costing us. And it's going to cost us even more time though here. Come on, go, go, go.
Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that.
Well, it looks like the team were a bit pessimistic. They are going to come out pretty much battling then with the Lamborghini Williams of Liam Lawson. But instead of P16, it's P14 here. And I can't imagine it's long before we're trying to look for a move on the Kiwi. Look at the grip we've got through the first few corners then, up at the top of the hill where we binned it yesterday. Oh, Lawson trying to give me a bit of a squeeze there, but clean around the outside will go. And that was a very, very daring move to make off of the new strategy, but one that we needed to do. Taking us long though before to the back of Albon and Lando Norris there. The McLaren driver, fantastic pace on Saturday. Unfortunate grid penalties though have really dogged him So around the outside, we'll go back at turn 1. Had to give Lando a little bit of squeeze there, but it does take 2 to tango. So we've kind of got to find a good balance here off of this second stint. Obviously, you're trying to make moves, but also not trying to work the tyres too hard. Deja vu potentially. Oh, Albon then nicks the inside wall. But just like we did on his teammate a lap ago, we will go around the outside through Upper Mirabeau. Come on then, Pierre Gasly. Let's see what we got in that Alpine. A little bit of DRS, but it's not going to make much difference for him. Well, again, have a look around the outside.
Manage your tyres.
And a team that I think we're expecting good things this weekend. Absolutely nowhere at the moment. Oh, and then Ocon. We've got to try and get past the second Frenchman in a lap there. And just look at the traction we've got. This car isn't much quicker than anything else around this venue, but it is just the tyres that make all the difference there. Esti Besti tries to hang me out to dry, but we won't give up on it. We are back into P9 of the Monaco Grand Prix. And next up then is Lewis Hamilton in his Ferrari. Keep making progress here early on in the afternoon. Want to try and be back up towards Yuki before he's pit here, as to the outside of Hamilton in his Ferrari. Won't find a way on the brakes, but we will find a way on the throttle there. Cheeky little switchback on Lewis there, who definitely is seemingly struggling at the moment in that car. I was hoping for bigger things from him in red, but we'll have to wait and see whether that happens IRL instead. Carlos Sainz, of course, another big name that switched for 2024. As we can see, one of the Alpha Towers, I believe, breaking down at the rear of the field. Oh, Sainz there a little bit slower I was expecting as we make our way down into the chicane. And the outside will go there, as that's our second mechanical failure of the day, where someone's had to pull up at the chicane, or the hairpin, sorry. What has happened to Iwasa? And here we go then, Ayumu Iwasa having a pretty disappointing day out on his debut Monaco GP. And well, the engine has gone bang as he makes his way up the hill there. Little puff of smoke. Honda, yes, certainly a little bit worried about what is going on with their power units at the moment after Yuki Tsunoda's unfortunate mechanical failure last weekend. And while Iwasa, just like we saw from Piastri a few laps ago, the only place he can really pull over is down in Upper Mirabeau. Oh, okay, Tsunoda, first of the AI to blink, of course, started on the softs. He is in, so yeah, that's going to give Bottas free rein at the front of the field. Of course, we're racing Kevin Magnussen's dad in our 1998 career mode, so always nice to see another Magnussen on the track there as the second of the Aston Martin Honda drivers. Oh, we just close it to the AI at the wrong point.
After that, I've got some options for you, so go and check your MFD.
We know Kevin Magnussen is not one for backing out, and luckily we'll do exactly what we did to, who was it, Sainz a lap before, wasn't it, of course? All the different liveries there really do sometimes throw me off, as in terms of tyre wear, already, yeah, we have knocked that front wheel again. Well, then Max Verstappen already, of course, what, 3-time winner of the Monaco Grand Prix? That's not going to help us out. And Norris a big old squeeze in from the Dutchman.
There's a fault with the rear wing system. Stay out so we can work on a fix remotely.
Hopefully the team can get that sorted, but I don't think it'll make too big of a difference. If ever there was somewhere where you wanted a DRS fault, it was always going to be Monaco, unless, of course, that DRS was open when it happened there, as you can see how much we're fighting with the car. Charles Leclerc into the pit lane, though. Just a little bit further up. But now, without the DRS, can we still get a run on the Dutchman? We'll put alongside him as we make our way back down in towards turn 1. And just like Hamilton, he's going to try and defend it, but we get the car around the outside. Verstappen forced to give me room. And we are back up into the podium places then. Now just behind Mercedes Current, and they're past. Oh, there we go, Russell in. So Bottas, though, still trying to brave it out there for a couple more laps as we cross half distance then. Here. Yeah, I mean, if we can get to Bottas, we could afford to box again before the end of the afternoon. Kind of just depends on where Yuki is in all of this. I believe he's making his way through the final corners now. So Tsunoda will be desperate to try and get the jump on Valtteri. There we go, Bottas in. Bottas in then, so it's taken us about 10 laps. But we will re-emerge then back at the front of the field. Really had to work for it against a few of those cars. But Tsunoda, he's got such a jump on some of the other AI that have already pit. Will he re-emerge then in P2 of this Grand Prix? We certainly aren't going to be able to get these medium tyres to the end. Let's just wait and see then. Bottas, yep. Tsunoda back into P2. So we've got to try and monitor the gap both to him and Valtteri. With one of those Porsche cars still yet to pit then, 6 drivers from 6 different teams making up our top 6 at the moment. Formula 1 is having an absolute belter. Well, looking at the gaps then to Bottas and Tsunoda here, I think if we were to box now, we'd come out just ahead of Charles Leclerc. We want to try and make sure we return in that window, but we couldn't even afford to stay out to the end of the Grand Prix if we wanted to. Tsunoda and Bottas are just that much quicker than me at the moment. Yeah, we've got to box this lap though, otherwise Charles Leclerc will get the jump on me. I certainly think we're going to struggle to make too many places up towards the end of the afternoon. We will though have about 10 lap fresher tyres than Tsunoda. Slightly less over Bottas, but he might get a bit stuck now behind the Aston Martin car then, as into the pit lane will come once more. We get to see Tsunoda and Bottas make their way through the final couple of corners there. In fact, that was actually George Russell, I believe. But yeah, very, very cool still. But yeah, onto the softs we'll go then. Hopefully nice and tidy stop.
That's it. Go, go, go. That was a fantastic stop. Faster than we were expecting.
Well, good stop then, and that might be the difference. Oh, a little wobble. But Charles Leclerc then has a look around the outside of turn 1, but can't find anything there. And we will re-emerge then exactly where we expected. We've got 12 laps to try and make up 3 overtakes though. We want to win this thing. Pace you've got on a fresh set of softs against some worn-in hards is absolutely astronomical there. Even with a little bit of a slip up through the final corner, we're still able to gain a bit of time on George.
Be aware, these tyres need to go the distance.
Oh yeah, we've got to be better than that though. Little knock at the front, so immediately scrub a bit more wear into them. Not what we want to be doing late on here. We thought about having a look around the outside, but just in the corner of my mind was that qualifying incident. We'll switch George Russell off of the corner though, but almost run it down into the wall. Make sure we give him room though, side by side through the hairpin we'll go. This is a brilliant battle with George, but we will finally make it through though. Hop over the pavement through the next corner apparently. And we are back up then into the podium places. There is Tsunoda and Bottas. Let's not forget either, no Japanese driver has ever won a Formula 1 Grand Prix, never mind the Monaco Grand Prix. So this could be not only a historic win for Tsunoda, but also for the country of Japan and for Honda as well here, I'm sure. Just a few of their team personnel reminiscing of watching the great Ayrton Senna doing laps around this venue as well. But Bottas still absolutely glued to the back of that Aston Martin car. But can we try and find a way around the McLaren driver here, get on the battery as early as we possibly can? But Bottas, I don't think he's going to be too afraid to defend from me. Might have to look for a bit of a diving manoeuvre, which we will. But we run straight on into the chicane there. We'll have to let Bottas by again. And just, well, I got a little bit scared there. We were going to go into the back of Yuki in the process and potentially take both of us out of the Grand Prix. Bottas, of course, has had a few wins before in Formula 1, so the other two of us looking for our first. We wanted to have a look again on Bottas. Maybe we can have a look into the hairpin. No. Oh, the McLaren driver there just slamming the door shut once again in my face. Problem is,
Brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out.
well, that might be another little problem there. Even more tyre wear being picked up on the fronts, but we're a lot closer to Bottas this time around. Down the inside we'll go, keep it between the white lines, avoid the wall on the exit. And we are through and back up into P2 then of the Monaco Grand Prix. Just 9 laps to go here. Will it be Japan's first Formula 1 Grand Prix victory? Or can we claim Lancia's first win in over 70 years? Oh yeah, Tsunoda is struggling. Tsunoda is really struggling at the moment. Also try and get the power down as we make our way in towards the tunnel. Are we going to be able to gain? Whoa! Oh, I could just tell he was going to try and block that off. Tsunoda, he's got to make that car as wide as possible. Oh, don't want to be there. Do not want to be there. The AI have a knack of turning in on you. Trying to have a look down the inside through to back. Tsunoda is putting up a much sterner defense than anyone else has. And who can blame him? All over the back of him as we make our way up the top of the hill, right on the outside. Oh, Tsunoda, he's just a little bit unpredictable at the moment. He is just being chaotic, making me second guess the moves I'm trying to make there. Parking the car where he needs to as well. And this is just shades of Senna against Mansell in 1992 at the moment. That Aston Martin driver is not willing to give us an inch. He wants his first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix victory. It has really come out of nowhere here. Can we have a look to the inside? A little bit of front lock in there. We just are losing a little bit of confidence in those fronts, and it's going to make it more and more difficult to try and find an avenue. Well, we know time is ticking. We know the advantage we got on these softs is starting to wear thinner and thinner. To the outside again. It was a good job there. We didn't try and get a run around the outside of Yuki, because that would have put us in big, big trouble again, though. Look at him, what he's doing. Yuki Tsunoda giving it absolutely everything there. Bottas tried to have a look back down my inside on the exit of the corner. And while we're just having to avoid picking up front wing damage at the moment, Tsunoda is just absolutely placing that car perfectly. I can't even be annoyed with him. He's just doing a fantastic job with it. Oh, again, we'll get the run. Again, we'll be on the outside, though. Down in towards the chicane. And again, how has he got that much confidence on a worn set of mediums? Might be able to get a run off the corner. Nope, not happening there again. No. That's made things even worse. Front wing damage for us. Come on. That little bit of front wing damage might make the difference here. We are just trying to hang as close to him as we possibly can still, but it feels like time is starting to run out. We'll again get another run. This time round, we'll have a look to the inside. A little bit of wheel bang in there. Tsunoda hops the chicane. A little bit like Verstappen and Lewis a couple of years ago. And again, Yuki, this is just ridiculous. Feels like the one place at the moment where I can get a run on Yuki. I just do not have the confidence on the brakes. Almost that time ran into the back of him. Down at the chicane there. Again, we'll have a look to the inside through to back. And again, you can see the AI there. They will turn in. They will give you half a car's width, and that's it. You cannot, you just cannot be down the inside of them there. But all this battling going on for the lead of the Grand Prix has allowed about 5 cars to close in now. So Charles Leclerc now, P5, less than 2 seconds away from the lead. Oh, time is ticking there as again to the outside of Yuki, but again, we just pinch the front tyres there. We'll give up the place still. You know, I'm certainly not going to try and get it by doing that. But Yuki Tsunoda, I'm starting to get really worried here that he might be doing enough to win this thing. 3 laps left of the Monaco Grand Prix still. It is Yuki Tsunoda, followed by myself there. Both drivers looking for their first Formula 1 Grand Prix victory. Both drivers looking to give their team something to smile about after a topsy-turvy start to the season. Neither driver, though, I think did anyone have any money on as we head into the weekend. And, well, yeah, we can't even get close enough to Yuki now down that straight. We've got to try and find an avenue somewhere else. But where are we going to be able to do it? I'm not able to stay close enough to that Aston Martin car through the final couple of corners. We just drop back too much time. We gain it all back. Luckily, team not worried about the tyres. But yeah, we gain it all back down at turn 1. But we're just not close enough off of the final corner. And that's really, really compromising me at the moment. I mean, where else can we really have a look round here? Just struggle a bit too much up through Casino Square and Massenet. Can see how hard we're pushing still. But anywhere else on the lap, I think we're just working these tyres a little bit too hard now. And is Tsunoda starting to sense that the dream might be real here? Lunging down the hill we go through Portier. Such an iconic corner for one incident and one incident only. But Tsunoda, he's got the breathing room as we make our way down this little back straight. Again, we lock at the front there. I've got no idea how many times we've messed up that chicane so far this afternoon. But as we make our way in towards the final sector, Yuki Tsunoda has got just 1 lap to go of the Monaco Grand Prix.
Make use of the overtake button and see what you can do.
And he would join a very, very illustrious list of Formula 1 Grand Prix winners who took their first win here in Monte Carlo. Olivier Panis, Jarno Trulli, just to name a couple. But yeah, will Yuki Tsunoda make it another? Come on. We gotta try and find a way around him here, but I'm pretty certain as we move into this final lap, I think our opportunities have reached nothing. Barge up against the wall again. Tyre warning light will flash up because of it, but I don't care anymore. We just want to try and hang as close to the Aston Martin as we possibly can here as we make our way down through the Portier section once again. We're still all over the back of him, but we are not close enough. Yuki Tsunoda, it looks like once more here, we're going to experience heartbreak at the Monaco Grand Prix inside F123. We certainly were going to be under a lot of pressure from him had we not pit. Well, I don't think we really care about that right towards the end of the Grand Prix mark, but making our way through the final corners, Aston Martin, Honda, it's a new alliance, and Yuki Tsunoda, who left the Red Bull family at the start of the year through the final corner, he is going to be Japan's first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix winner. Tsunoda will win the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yes, nice work, mate. You did a really good job today. Pretty sure the boss is going to be happy with that one.
Aston Martin deserved a win today, and they got it. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Aston Martin's performance today has shown that they can be competitive with the biggest names in the sport. They're making their way out to the podium as we speak, and the reaction from the crowd must be incredibly uplifting for them. Let's see how the drivers' standings have changed. Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Yuki Tsunoda gets my vote today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula 1.
Well, there we are then. Yuki Tsunoda is a Formula 1 Grand Prix winner there, and like I said, certainly was not a driver we were expecting to be saying that about as we came into Monaco here. After the heartbreak last time out at Imola, he more than certainly gets some redemption for that there. Again, though, we're going to come P2 on a street circuit, of course. Had the heartbreaker losing out to Sainz last year in Singapore, and it's another P2 for the Lancia team. When, oh when, will we get that first Grand Prix victory under our belt there? Bottas beats out Russell, Charles Leclerc, Magnussen, with Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton and Gasly rounding out our top 10 there. Lando, Norris, a torrid afternoon, stuck way out of the competitive order there. And Daniel Ricciardo, P17 for him. What on earth is going on in this series there? Iwasa and Piastri, the only drivers not to see the checkered flag. But it does mean championship-wise, well, Verstappen hangs on to his lead at the top. 15-point gap now to George Russell. Piastri still in P3 there, ahead of Bottas and myself. Tsunoda, with that huge points boost, will move up into 9th place. They're ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who is now locked into an Aston Martin sandwich, and Carlos Sainz still down in a pretty disappointing 12th place for him and Red Bull here. Constructors-wise, though, Mercedes now a 17-point lead over Red Bull as well. Aston Martin will get the jump on us by 12 points even as we leave Monte Carlo. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back when Formula 1 returns ready for the Spanish Grand Prix.